Ken, what's the most disappointing aspect of that today?
Clearly by the end, the scoreboard was really disappointing to lose as badly as we did after a reasonable start and a contest start where we were in the game. Both teams come into the game in reasonable form. I thought they were in really good form coming in. They were certainly a game we were wary of how they were playing. Started okay, but once the game got away from us, they grew in confidence. Is what happens in a game of football. They looked like they couldn't do anything wrong. We looked like we nearly couldn't do anything right. So, by the end of the day, the disappointing thing is we lost badly. It's not a surprise that the Bulldogs were able to beat us. It's a surprise to me that we got beat so badly.
The clearance battle, I think it started with 10-0,
yep.
Something like that. What changed?
Yeah, they just got dominance around the ball. Their ruck certainly got dominant. It wasn't so much as hit outs, it's just his work rate around the ground and help join in the outnumber. But then their quality of players, they were able to restrict a bit of us. And then, Liberatore, Richards, Bonpelli, it's a pretty good group that they've got going through there. And they were able to get ascendancy in the game, they got territory, then they dominated the game.
So many D50 goals,
stoppage
goals given up?
Yeah, it's a huge number and one that we clearly are really disappointed in. We expect way better than that. The result says we weren't way better than that.
You have been better at that?
Yeah, we have been. No, that's right. In isolation, we were really, really bad today, but over the course of the season at 4-4, we've been reasonable. But we have had two big blowout games now. When it's gone against us, it's been really hard to arrest that momentum.
How do you go about trying to do that, arrest that stuff?
You stick to your task, you stick to what you know, and you keep working hard on the parts of the game that are challenging you. And some of our challenge today was around the ball under contest pressure. After midway through the second quarter, I reckon, it became around contest pressure. I thought even by the back end of the second quarter, we were able to get the ball back into our half a little bit, but then after half time particularly, they stepped up probably 3 gears, and we weren't able to manage to keep with them.
Is it the sort of performance where you have to do a major deep dive after it, or do you sort of move on quickly with such a massive game?
No. A game like that, you have to have a really close look. I mean, you can't afford to be that bad, and that's our challenge. As a group, they've been pretty good. They've been pretty resilient. They've been able to bounce back when it's been against them before, and we're going to have to expect the same again this week. As a coaching group, we've got to make sure that we give them the right detail so they've got an opportunity to compete at the level we need them to compete at. And the positive for us is there's a showdown coming next week, and that'll probably certainly help us get our heads back into the battle pretty quickly.
Yeah, so you won't have to work too hardly to get them up for such a massive game.
Well, honestly, we don't have to do too much hard work to get this team or any team up probably in this competition. They all look forward to that opportunity to play every week. Sometimes it's you put your best foot forward and you're proud of your performance. Today was a day where we weren't certainly proud of our performance.
The decision to sub Joe Berry at half-time, was that purely tactical or was
Yes.
it an injury?
No, purely tactical. We were in a bad way at that point and we needed to get a bit more presence forward of the ball, and we needed to get a bit more support around the contest with the ruck as well. So Jeremy, we knew, gave us that, and he gives us good flexibility. But look, today after half-time, we could have brought 5 players into the game. Might not have made any difference.
Any injuries today?
No, I don't think so at this stage. Lockie came off at the end with a bit of a cramp, I think, in his hamstring. But other than that, we'll wait and see what happens. But a fair bit of injury upstairs more than anywhere.
Ken, from a coaching perspective, when you reflect back the way that you used the ball with the wind early in the game to not even be able to do anything in the third term when they kicked so many goals against it, that must have been really frustrating just not to be able to really generate any of those forward entries, particularly in the third term.
Yeah, no, we were disappointed with nearly all parts of the game. Well, probably was all parts of the game after half-time in particular. We gave ourselves a chance for the first 40 minutes. As I said before, they went 3 gears above us. We weren't able to catch back up to them, and even when we had the win, they looked like a far better team. They were able to score heavily into the breeze. So
does it come down to a bit of desire too? Was there a time you felt like some of those or some lackadaisical efforts? You think? No,
I don't think that's the issue. I think it's confidence grows and also disappears in both teams when it gets like that. And the Bulldogs know and knew what they needed to do against us. They got that done. We weren't able to respond to that. The game then became, they grew, as I said, quickly. And we were trying hard to hang in, but everything we tried to touch and do looked like we were, fumbly run under pressure, and we couldn't get a break, and we needed to get more than one break. We needed to get quite a few. All right, thank you.